But thanks for joining us, and we hope you'll like to stick around for our hour and a half program. Kirtan in class. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Saraswarup Ananda Paramahamsa Iti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Saraswarupananda Paramahamsa Iti Namine Namo Siddha Swarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gaurakarna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Pristaya Te Namo Siddha Swarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gaurakarna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Pristaya Te Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Pracharine Devasesha Sunyavadi Askachar Visatarine Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Pracharine Devasesha Sunyavadi Askachar Visatarine Raja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Bhaktivinoda Raja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Bhaktivinoda Raja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Bhaktivinoda Raja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama,
Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parirajikasata Shishima Jigatu Srisrupananda Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parirajikasata Sata Shishima His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Kota Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur's World Mission Ki Jai. Navadvita Dhamma Ki Jai. Shishi Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Shyamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhani Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. All glorious assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glorious assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glorious assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Ama Gina Timurandasya, Gina Gina Salakaya, Chaksurun Militanyena, Tajmai Shri Guruve Namaha, Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam, Statpitam Yena Bhutale, Swayam Rupa Kadamayam, Tadati Swapadante Kam, Vandeham Shri Guru, Shri Yuta Parakamalan, Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha, Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajayivam, Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam, Krishna Chaitanya Devam, Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagapate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhi Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakapa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanan Pavenbhyo Vaishnavbhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimate Siddha Swarupananda Paramahansa Niti Namine Namo Siddha Swarupananda Paramahansa Namine Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prastayate. I offer my respectful obeisances under the lotus feet of my spiritual master, Jagakuru Siddha Swarupananda, Srila Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter at his lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada is the mercy manifestation of Lord Chaitanya, Gaura Karuna Swarupaya, and very dear to Radha and Krishna, Radha Krishna Prastayate. And I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are like wish-fulfilling trees, able to fulfill all the desires of the fallen living entities, and are full of compassion upon them. Hare Krishna, Namaste. Welcome, thank you for coming and watching as we continue our Bhagavad Gita class series. And we're studying chapter 2, and we've gotten to the stage where after Arjuna accepts Krishna as his spiritual master, or says that he is a Sishya, I am your Sishya, a soul surrendered unto you, please instruct me. Then Krishna, explains in chapter 2, text 11 through 30, how we're not the body, that the deha, the body, is different from the dehi. The dehi, the embodied living entity, is eternal, eternally an individual, and ever existing, undying, does not come into being, is imperishable, immortal. So many different words which we've described how Krishna describes the spirit soul, the Atma. And so after speaking these verses, and also commenting that even from the material body point of view, the body is temporary, that all bodies are unmanifest, then they become manifest, and then again they become unmanifest. So what is to be regretted in this? And so from both a spiritual attitude angle and also from a material angle, it's like there's no reason not to fight. And this was kind of a philosophical type analysis. And then Krishna now has become, beginning in text 31, a lot more, I'm not sure if practical is the right word, but a lot less philosophical and talking about things that apply to everyone, has now become more specific and is beginning to talk about specific reasons why for Arjuna in his specific situation, in particular his role as a kshatriya or warrior, his what's known as swadharma, his own particular dharma, his duty, his obligation, his responsibility as a warrior, as a kshatriya, to protect and to administer kingdoms for the welfare and benefit of the inhabitants of the kingdom, as opposed to just seeing a kingdom as something to exploit and enjoy, and to want to be a king no matter what, just for the sake of having power. The kshatriya has the feeling of duty and obligation and responsibility and wanting to take care of the people. The king is very much like a father, taking care and watching out for the well-being and benefit of his subjects. Just as a father is always mindful of the well-being of his children, so similarly a king or a kshatriya has this type of mentality. So as opposed to trying to exploit a position and enjoy the benefits of power. So anyway, so Krishna begins speaking specifically to Arjuna's situation as a warrior, as a prince, and as a kshatriya with the particular swadharma or duty of protecting the inhabitants of the kingdom. And so initially in the 31 and 32, Krishna describes the positive reasons why he should fight. Positive in the sense that he describes, benefits to fighting. Considering your specific duty as a kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles. So there's no need for hesitation. So this is that Krishna is telling Arjuna, this is the best engagement for you, in light of your specific swadharma. There's nothing better for you to do than to fight on religious principles. Religious principles or dhamya. O Partha, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought, opening for them the doors of the heavenly planets. So Krishna is saying, as we discussed quite length last week, is what a wonderful opportunity for a Kshatriya this opportunity to engage in this war is. It's come unsought. And the result of engaging in this unsought fight will be that the doors of the heavenly planets of Swaga Loka, the heavenly domain, which is, it's heavenly. we can't even really comprehend it, right? Sometimes people, when I go places, people hear, oh, you live in Hawaii. Oh, you live in Hawaii, like I go to Australia or New Zealand or different parts of the world, the mainland. And people think that Hawaii is just, they believe all the tourist marketing, right? All the marketing around Hawaii. And they think it's very heavenly and wonderful, Of course, if you live in Hawaii, you become rather acutely aware that actually it's not quite that heavenly. I mean, the scenery's nice. Of course, there's a volcano going off. If you live on the Big Island, you've got to worry about whether your house is going to get consumed by lava, which unfortunately some houses of devotee friends of ours has been consumed by lava, or you get cut off. But not only that, it's just like, it's a pretty intense place, It's, and there's different tension in the air in Hawaii between, many of the residents who don't like the tourists and don't like Hawaii being for the benefit of the tourists, and then there's different sort of, sometimes, racial conflict or ethnic conflict. And it's an expensive place. Got to, lots of people have to have 2, even 3 jobs just to survive. The price of houses is through the roof. So anyway, it's not heavenly, but there's this impression that it's heavenly. People go, oh, you live in Hawaii. Oh, how cool that is. And but the actual heavenly planets are just mind-boggling. There's just wonderful environment. You live a long life. There's an absence of disease. The women are beautiful. The men are very handsome. There is no old age, practically speaking. There is, of course, birth and death. But it's just very enjoyable. And so anyway, Krishna is describing to Arjuna that, how fortunate he is that this opportunity to engage in a pious war, a righteous war, a dharmic war in support of dharmic principles has come to him unsought. And as a result, the doors, the dwaram of heaven, of Swagaloka, will be wide open to Arjuna. And what a wonderful situation this is. So both from a material point of view, Arjuna has, well, actually these are all from a material point of view, but firstly Arjuna has the opportunity to fulfill his dharma, which is a good thing. People actually feel are benefited and are happiest when they're actually doing what they should be doing. Like if you have a school student and he doesn't do his homework and he doesn't try to do well at school, they're always kind of dissatisfied. But if you have a student who's doing their homework and doing their best and actively engaging themselves and trying to learn, then actually, because they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, then it's like they don't have this sort of internal conflict of being on a bummer that they're having to do something they don't want to do. Like you have like a school student who doesn't want to do their work, like, oh, I don't want to do it, and they're just slacking off, wasting time, and feeling dissatisfied, and there's so many examples. Like, if you have a husband and wife, and if the husband is trying to protect his wife and take care of her, well, then he feels good. And if the wife is assisting the husband, serving the husband, being a quote a good wife, well, then the wife is happy. So this leads to a happy, balanced lifestyle. If a father is acting as a father and taking care of the children, then the children are happy, the father is happy. If the father is neglecting the children, or is cruel to the children, or worse, abandons the children, runs off with another woman, and or doesn't even know he has children, just has fathered children unknowingly and uncaringly, then the children feel very neglected, and this is bad for society. So, in so many ways, performing one's duty is the natural order of things, and it makes people happy. So, for Arjuna, he should have. Krishna is saying, if fulfilling your religious duty, your swadharma, this is good. This is good for you, and not only that, in this situation here, you can achieve the heavenly kingdoms. It's come for you unsought. You can go to Swarga without any effort. So from these positive reasons, Krishna encourages Arjuna that he should engage in the fight. He should have no hesitation to fight. So then now Krishna gives, in the next 4 verses, from 233 to 236, he gives Arjuna the negative consequences of not fighting. So we've come at it from, Krishna's come at it from a philosophical point of view, a spiritual point of view of Sankhya, which Krishna says in 239, he's been discussing this from the point of view of Sankhya, or the analysis of the difference between the soul and the body. Sankhya is about the analysis of the 24 material elements, and then the soul being the 25th element. And anyway, so he's come at it from a Sankhya point of view and a Jnana point of view, knowledge, transcendental knowledge. Then he's come at it in a couple of verses from why you should fight, how it's going to be so beneficial for you. And then now we're getting really right down to it, and he's telling Arjuna what a bummer it's going to be for him if he doesn't fight. So in these 4 verses, and we'll go through each of them individually, but I'll just read the 4 verses now. In 33, Krishna says, if, however, you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties, and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. So the first thing, of course, is Arjuna several times, said to Krishna that he thinks it's, to engage in this war will be sinful. Papa means to experience hurt in the future, to create hurt or sinfulness. Sinful reactions are created. So Krishna says, no, Arjuna, you've got it the wrong way around. Okay? It's not sinful for you to engage in this fight, and to not engage in the fight is sinful. It's the opposite of what you think, Arjuna. Get that, understand that, please. This is the opposite. Right? You will certainly incur sins if you don't, for neglecting your duties. So, if we have duties, anyway, sorry, I'll just go through the verses. Okay, so this is the first thing. You will incur sin for not fulfilling your duties. That's the first point. Then, secondly, you will lose your reputation as a fighter. So, okay, Arjuna, you're going to be sinful. Secondly, you're going to lose your reputation. People will always speak of your infamy. And for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. So people will speak of Arjuna's infamy. He'll become infamous or despised or criticized and talked about by all kinds of people for leaving the battlefield. So that's the third negative consequence. And then for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. So Arjuna will have lost his honor, and as such an honorable person who has such a good reputation, this for Arjuna would be worse. The loss of his reputation would be worse than death. Dishonor is worse than death. Then Krishna expands upon it further. The great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only. So now it's like Krishna's getting very specific. Not just people in general will talk about your infamy, but now the people that you're actually going to fight, such as Duryodhana and Karna and Bhishma and Drona, they will think you've left the battlefield out of fear. And they're going to think that you're a coward. So previously they've highly esteemed your reputation. Arjuna has this just amazing reputation as a warrior, and the respect and of all the mighty Maharathas, great chariot fighters, he's arrayed against, and so they'll think that he's left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you insignificant. So, Arjuna will just be considered a lightweight, an insignificant person, and not only will they consider you insignificant, but your enemies will describe you in many unkind words. Krishna is being very diplomatic here. Unkind words, and scorn your ability. So, what could be more painful for you? So, Krishna here is, really getting into Arjuna's psychology as a proud warrior with a fantastic reputation, and Krishna is now describing all how his reputation and position of being held in high respect and honor will be totally shot to pieces. He will become infamous, akati. And so Krishna here gives a number of reasons, very good reasons, very practical reasons why Arjuna should fight. If he doesn't fight, he's going to suffer all these negative consequences. And for Arjuna, like a Kshatriya of his status, this type of dishonor and loss of reputation would be worse than death. And of course, this is the exact opposite of what Arjuna was saying to Krishna in chapter 1, and and chapter 2, where Arjuna essentially says he would rather be killed. He'd rather die unresisting. So in 1:45 rather, Arjuna says, better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, weapons in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield. So Arjuna is saying he'd rather be killed on the battlefield, unarmed, unresisting. And whereas Krishna is saying, if you don't fight, you would rather just die. So anyway, this is part of the wonderful intricacy of Bhagavad Gita and the wonderful relationship that there is between Krishna and Arjuna. Arjuna, of course, is Krishna's cousin on Why is he Krishna's cousin? Kunti is Vasudev's sister. Right? So on the father's side, Krishna and Arjuna are related as cousins. And in Vedic society, they're actually more often described as cousin brothers. So you have your actual brothers, and then you have your cousin brothers. And I remember when I grew up, I had some cousins that I was very close to. We would see them all the time. And so then they're definitely the next best thing to brothers and sisters, right, is your cousins. And if you're close to them, they're like cousin brothers. And so Krishna and Arjuna had this very close cousin-brother type relationship. And they're really good friends. They're the same age, basically the same age. So Krishna's relationship with Maharaj Yudhisthira, when he would see Maharaj Yudhisthira, he would touch his feet. He would offer obeisances to him because Maharaj Yudhisthira was older, as was Bhima. And then Nakula and Sahadev, they would offer their obeisances to Krishna and touch his feet because they were younger. But Arjuna is the same age. So they are great friends, engaging in many friendly activities together. As Krishna describes in chapter 11, after seeing the universal form, the Virat Rupa of Krishna, then Arjuna is, after being just totally like spun out, like, what is this? And then kind of like offering obeisances to you from the front and the side and begging forgiveness. Arjuna then sort of describes how, we lay on beds together and we exchange sarcastic words, as friends will do. Particularly like in Australia, where I'm from, it's like the home is sarcasm. It's sometimes sarcasm is described as the lowest form of wit, but in Australia, sarcasm is highly regarded, and people are always making sarcastic jokes about each other, and it's considered great fun. And so Arjuna and Krishna would exchange sarcasm about, you're such a great warrior, whereas they're actually sort of teasing each other, inferring that actually you're not. And actually in America, I've had to learn I can't be sarcastic. People don't appreciate sarcasm here. They think that you're being mean to them or that you're getting at them. So I have to be very careful. But anyway, so Krishna and Arjuna had this very close cousin-brother relationship, this great friendship relationship, and then they're actually brothers-in-law. Krishna's sister, Subhadra, is married to Arjuna, and Krishna actually more or less arranged it, much to Lord Balaram's chagrin. So anyway, there's of course a whole story and pastime about Arjuna's becoming married to Subhadra. But anyway, so there's this level of friendship, blood relationship, and then sister and brother-in-law relationship. So there's this very close relationship between Krishna and Arjuna, and there's this very intimate understanding between them, right? That Krishna totally understands Arjuna and his mentality, and so in these verses, Krishna is speaking just appropriately to Arjuna's state of mind and his mentality, his psyche, his view of himself, his sense of duty, and so on. Right? So I guess I got a bit carried away there, but I started down that track, just describing the intricacy of Bhagavad Gita and the fascinating aspects of it and how it all ties in with the Mahabharata, the story of Greater India, the story of which essentially revolves around the story of the conflict between the Pandavas on one side and the Dhritarashtra's, or Dhritarashtra's, the sons of Maharaj Dhritarashtra, headed by Duryodhana. Two sides of one family or one dynasty. So, we'll start on text 33. Atha shetva mimam damyam sangramam na karishyasi tata swadaman kurtim cha hitva papa avapyasi. If, however, you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. So in text 36, chapter 1, Arjuna said, sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. So here's, in Arjuna saying that it'll be sinful to kill the opponents on the other sides, the sons of Dhritarashtra. And of course many others other than the sons of Dhritarashtra will be killed, but the relationship between Arjuna, the Pandavas, and Maharaj Yudhisthira and Maharaj Dhritarashtra is, complex, it's difficult, right? So they're going to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, but they look upon Maharaj Dhritarashtra as like a fatherly figure, the brother of Maharaj Pandu, so he is actually their uncle. And, they view him as like a kindly uncle who's given them shelter and protection when they, after the death of Maharaj Pandu, and that's a whole story which we won't go into. But anyway, after the death of Maharaj Pandu, then the Pandavas were brought to Maharaj Dhritarashtra, who then took care of them in a fatherly kind of way. Unfortunately, of course, Maharaj Dhritarashtra, he's blind, so he's not only physically blind, blind from birth, and of course that's a whole story, but he is spiritually blind. And even from a dharmic point of view, he's blinded by his attachment for Duryodhana, for his son. And so even though the son, Maharaj Pandu, was the emperor, and so his children, the Pandavas, and specifically Maharaj Yudhisthira, is the rightful heir to the kingdom, Maharaj Dhritarashtra, blinded by his attachment for his son and manipulated by the evil intent of his son Duryodhana, essentially facilitates the supplanting of Maharaj Yudhisthira with Duryodhana. So, but even so, despite how off Maharaj Dhritarashtra is, still the Pandavas and Arjuna have this feeling of affection and high regard for Maharaj Dhritarashtra. And so, actually in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there's various, after the war, Maharaj Yudhisthira always felt so bad. He after this horrendous war and the Battle of Kurukshetra, then Maharaj Yudhisthira became the emperor and, lived in the city of Hastinapura, the city of the elephants. And, and in the palace that Maharaj Dhritarashtra had occupied. And Maharaj Dhritarashtra was still there, while Maharaj Yudhisthira is there with the Pandavas, and Mother Gandhari, Dhritarashtra's wife, is there also. So they're always there, and Maharaj Yudhisthira is feeling bad that he's now the emperor, and that all of Maharaj Dhritarashtra's sons have been killed. And that's why Maharaj Yudhisthira is there. So Maharaj Yudhisthira is feeling bad about this. And in the Bhagavatam it describes how each day he would go to, with great pleasure, Maharaj Yudhisthira would go to see Maharaj Dhritarashtra to pay his respects to him and to Mother Gandhari. And this is the kind of relationship. Of course, Maharaj Dhritarashtra didn't really like Bhima, and Bhima also didn't like Maharaj Dhritarashtra. Bhima was much more angry, had so much anger, and was very upset about the way they'd been treated and the way that Draupadi had been treated and attempted to be disrobed in the gambling house, in the gambling arena. And so that relationship was a little bit different. But Arjuna had also had this great respect for Maharaj Dhritarashtra. So he's not wanting to engage in this fight. That it's not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Of course, in the Manusamhita it's described how one can kill 5 different types of aggressors. And I think I discussed it last week, but anyway, there's the one who poisons, the one who sets fire to the house, one who steals the wife, one who attacks with deadly weapons. So there's 4 of them. Anyway, I don't remember the 5th one, or maybe I even said it. But anyway, that one can slay such aggressors without sin, without sinful reaction. But anyway, that's a bit of an aside. So Arjuna is just saying, that sin will overcome us if we do this. And this is the opposite of what Krishna is saying. Krishna is saying, certainly you will incur sins by neglecting your duties. Right? And Arjuna is, at the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, is saying the complete opposite, that sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. So Keshava Kashmiri says, now Lord Krishna responds to Arjuna's previous distress of not wanting to slay his enemies, such as Bhishma and Drona, but instead to allow his enemies to slay him. So we discussed text 45, where Arjuna already says, better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, weapons in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield. So now Krishna is responding to this. So in this verse, Krishna uses the word atha to emphasize another point of view, that if Arjuna declines to fight this righteous war and chooses to disregard the acquisition of happiness in either this world or the heavenly worlds, as enjoined in the Vedic scriptures, which state that the royal order should conquer over his enemies and rule over the earth. Then, by refusing to accept his responsibility and avoiding the battle, Arjuna would be abandoning his duty, which brings rewards and boundless glory, and thus losing his reputation, both worldly and divine, which results from the victory of a great warrior. Arjuna would in fact incur great sin. So Arjuna has this responsibility, and it's a huge responsibility. And I've kind of, I've spoken about this probably way too many times, but everyone is depending upon Arjuna, right? It's like, there's millions of soldiers here in this war. And on the Kuru's side, headed by Duryodhana, there's 11 Akshauhini divisions. So a division is comprised of a certain number of elephants, chariots, archers, infantrymen. So on the side of Duryodhana, there is 11 of these divisions. And on the side of the Pandavas, headed by Maharaj Yudhisthira, there's only 8. So you've got 11 versus 8. And that's quite a significant difference. So if you're about to engage in war, you would want to be on the side that's got the 11, not the 8, because, that's a significant numerical advantage. 3 eighths is like 40%, something like that, 40% more. And on the side of the Kurus, there is Duryodhana, there's Karna, and Karna was also, I can't say he's a Pandava, but if he'd been, because Pandava, also there's only 5 of them, but he's also the son of Kunti, the firstborn of Kunti, through the sun god Bhivishwan. And but Kunti was a virgin, so she couldn't keep him. So she had to actually put him in a basket and put him on a river, and he got brought up by a sutta, a charioteer, and which was heartbreaking for Kunti. But Karna never knew this. He didn't know who his mother was. Of course, Kunti knew, but she kept it a secret. But anyway, Karna had, he had natural armor, and he's known as Karna because he had born with earrings that were like part of his ears. And so anyway, he was a fantastic warrior. He could, and almost did, defeat Arjuna in different competitions. In fact, in the competition to win the hand of Draupadi, where Arjuna had to shoot the arrow and so on up at the pierce the eye of the fish through the spinning wheel, Karna could have also done that. And there was a whole sort of conflict and story around that, which I won't go into. But anyway, there's Karna, there's grandfather Bhishma, and grandfather Bhishma is like, just a totally awesome warrior, unbelievable prowess. And Drona Acharya, the military general. There's Kripa Acharya, fantastic archer, and a long list of other awesome fighters that many of whom are named in chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita. And when I was speaking on chapter 1, we went through each of them and discussed part of their history and their story. So anyway, on the side of the Kurus, there's all these fantastic generals. And of course, on the side of the Pandavas, there's also many great fighters, including Bhima, who's extremely strong. But really what made the scales balance out between the Kurus with their 11 Akshauhini divisions and so many wonderful warriors, and the 8 Akshauhini divisions on the side of the Pandavas, it's really Arjuna who brings it into balance. So if you're on the side of the Pandavas, even though you're outnumbered, you can still feel confidence that we've got a good chance here, because Arjuna's on our side. Arjuna's, an awesome, absolutely awesome warrior with so many mystic weapons. he'd fought with Lord Shiva and almost defeated him. Lord Shiva had given him a Pashupata weapon. Arjuna had fought on behalf of Indra. Indra had given him wonderful weapons. Even Dronacharya had given Arjuna wonderful weapons. So Arjuna has great skills that he had learned from Dronacharya, and he has many awesome weapons, and he can balance it out. So if you can imagine, Arjuna's brothers and all the soldiers in his 8 Akshauhini divisions on his side, then it's like, Arjuna has this huge responsibility to them. They're depending on Arjuna, depending on him. They're relying on him to fight on their side. And so for Arjuna to be contemplating not fighting on their side is just completely irresponsible. It's like letting down the side, letting the team down, like I used to play rugby football, as a schoolboy. And, it was a big thing, be a team player. Don't let the team down. Unfortunately on some occasions I did let the team down, but that's highly frowned upon, right? Not the right thing to do at all. So, Arjuna has this massive responsibility, and yet he's discussing just giving it up. Right? As Keshava Kashmiri says, then by refusing to accept his responsibility and avoiding the battle, Arjuna would be abandoning his duty. So he has this massive duty, not only to the soldiers, but it's to his brother, his eldest brother, or all his brothers, but to his eldest brother in particular, Maharaj Yudhisthira. And this was so after the death of Maharaj Pandu, so then of course the eldest brother takes on much more responsibility and becomes almost like a father figure, right? Watching out for the younger brothers, taking care of them. And so there's this relationship with Maharaj Yudhisthira like this. And then Maharaj Yudhisthira is completely the righteous king. He's the incarnation of Dhammaraj. And he's the son of Dhammaraj. And the incarnation of Dhammaraj is actually Vidura, the third brother. There's Maharaj Pandu, Maharaj Dhritarashtra, and then the son of also a son of Srila Vyasadeva, but the son of a serving maid, a Sudrani. So he was not qualified to be king. But anyway, so Maharaj Yudhisthira is a very concerned about Dharma. He's a righteous king, and he's the rightful king. And they've been through so much together, the Pandavas, at the hands of the Duryodhana and his brothers. Been through so much suffering and hardship. And so for Arjuna to not, to walk away from his responsibility and his obligation to his eldest brother, it would just be, a complete disaster. And his wife, Draupadi, who's so angry at Duryodhana, so Arjuna has this responsibility towards her to take care of this situation, to deal with it. They've been dealing with this conflict between the two halves of the family for decades, and now it's finally going to be dealt with. And then now suddenly Arjuna wants to go I don't want to fight. It's just abandoning his duty. So anyway, so he can't abandon his duty. He has to fulfill his duty. And by doing so, it would bring rewards and boundless glory. Srila Baladevi Vibhusana says, in this and the following verses, the Lord shows the faults in not fighting, giving up your duty of fighting, damyam sagraman, and also the glory attained. You will reap only sin by neglect of your duty, since such conduct is forbidden in the Smritis. Then, as Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada says, Arjuna was a famous fighter, and he attained fame by fighting many great demigods, including even Lord Shiva. After fighting and defeating Lord Shiva in the dress of a hunter, Arjuna pleased the Lord and received as a reward a weapon called Pashupata Astra. Everyone knew that he was a great warrior. Even Dronacharya gave him benedictions and awarded him the special weapon by which he could kill even his teacher. So he was credited with so many military certificates from many authorities, including his adopted father Indra, the heavenly king. So actually, Indra is actually the birth father of Arjuna. But if he abandoned the battle, not only would he neglect his specific duty as a Kshatriya, but he would lose all his fame and good name, and thus prepare his royal road to hell. In other words, he would go to hell not by fighting, but by withdrawing from battle. So next week we'll continue on with the next verse here in the sequence of 4 verses where Krishna tells Arjuna all the negative things that'll happen if he doesn't fight. So anyway, thank you very much. I get very sort of passionate about Mahabharata and the relationship between Krishna and Arjuna and Bhagavad Gita. And so anyway, so on Christmas Eve, we'll be having a Kirtan starting at 6, and I'll be giving a lecture on Christmas. Something about what's the best Christmas. The gift of love is the best Christmas gift, and this will also be broadcast through Congregational Kirtan's Facebook page as well. So anyway, so hopefully you can join us. So thank you very much. Greatly appreciate you attending these classes and giving me the opportunity to speak on Bhagavad Gita. Thank you. Hari Bol. We'll have another Kirtan. Radhisha?
C, D, E minor. Did you make this?
Yeah.
Hari-bol. Hare
Christmas Eve.
Haribo, everybody. Hare Krishna.